All right, guys. Well, welcome back. Today is episode 13. 13 somewhere on the screen.
13.
Maybe down there, maybe over there. Today we have a special guest. Another DJ, by the way.
What's up?
DJ KataBolic.
How's it going, guys?
Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, DJ?
Said, KB, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So pretty much local DJ from San Antonio. I've been spinning for about 9-10 years now, I think. Oh man, time flies. Basically been focusing on EDM, so trap, dub, stuff like that, and just having fun while I can with this quarantine stuff going on.
No kidding, man. So number one DJ question.
Okay.
You spin on vinyl or on control?
CDJs. So no vinyls. CDJs. Okay.
We need to get the guy off right now.
That is always the number one question.
for me, because I mean, I've learned on the vinyl.
It's always the number one question from wannabe elitist.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah. So I don't even know how long ago was the first time I saw you spin, dude.
Man, probably at Rio would be my guess.
Possibly at Rio.
Yeah. Maybe Ivy.
I'm thinking it was actually Ivy was the first time I saw you spin. So
maybe
one of San Antonio's like premier EDM nightclubs. It's a smaller venue, but they've done a lot of big things there. Has gone through like 3 major management changes over like the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm guessing it's probably been about 6 or 7 years since the first time I ever saw you.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I've seen this guy spin where, headlining on a Friday or Saturday, and then a lot of times like in the middle of the week. Surprisingly, San Antonio's EDM scene, like people would show out for a Wednesday night, man, and like go hard 10 o'clock to 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then we would see several hundred people come out.
Yeah,
these small clubs. But I've also got to see you play on some pretty big stages, like some of San Antonio's most iconic stages. For you, what's been like one of your favorite moments DJing?
Man, I still think the set that I did at Middlelands was probably be like my epic stage performance. So to kind of bring it back, Middlelands is a festival that was thrown by Insomniac. And they did a festival out in just outside of Houston, Texas, where they throw the Renaissance Fair at that same location. And they do the festivals, and then after the festivals, they'll have like their after party sound camps, and like they had a whole dedicated area of like sound camps. So it was about like 10 to 12 stages of like everyone that just brought their own gear, stages, set up, lights, everything. And they were just like playing from 2 o'clock to like 9-10 o'clock in the morning or so. And one night, I think it was day 2, we had our sound camp was like, if you were coming from the festival going towards the sound camp area, you literally had to hit like our stage first, because the whole setup was like a horseshoe, and at the one in the horseshoe, that's where our sound camp was. So like if you wanted to go to the other side of the sound camp, you have to go through ours. And we had a stage set up from one of the guys that actually toured with like What's So Not. So we had a pretty whole setup, lights, like the whole works. And that night I played for like 3 hours straight. And
damn.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool, because like it was like funneled between like these RVs. So we had RVs like stacked in rows, and then everyone was inside the RV. And I just remember looking up at like maybe like 3-4 o'clock in the morning and seeing like 300-400 people within that RV set.
God.
Like a bunch of people, just old school people playing and stuff, or ravers like hanging out with us. And to this day, I still think that's probably like the funnest moment I've ever had playing. And it was an unofficial like setup that we did.
That's pretty awesome, man. and to be like just in your zone, and I'm sure you had a decent crowd out there when you first started, but then to get caught up in the moment and then to look back up and be like, oh shit, like that's got to be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, because I remember that like vividly. I was like just looking down. There's maybe like 20, 30 of us like at that scene or at that stage, and then an hour later, I look up and like just a sea of people were just right there raging with us. And to this day, I still get people that'll like come up to me. It's like they saw me at Middlelands and stuff, and they just enjoyed that set. So yeah, it's moments like that. It's just it's worth it.
That's dope.
That's really dope.
For something like that, did you have like a playlist? Because you said it was 3 hours, or was it just all coming off?
I just brought, I usually, well, stuff like that, I kind of just freestyle. So I just had my hard drive and just went on and read the crowd and just kind of went from there, basically. When it comes to like sets or shows, it's a give and take of freestyling and the set list. So I have a bunch of music. Maybe I have like an hour and a half, I'd say about 2 hours worth of music, but I can only play about an hour worth of it. So I kind of can still freestyle, but then I know where I'm playing from that set list.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Very nice. So DJ, one of the times that I saw KataBolic, I saw him open up for, I think it was Dioro was headlining for the Foam Wonderland, right? And you're familiar with Dioro.
Yeah, I love Dioro.
Yeah. So that was like, knowing who he's opening up for, that was all cool and shit. But like, it started off with the much heavier feel in the early part of the evening, and then it like built up into more, housey poppy vibe by the time Dior came on. But what I loved about watching you there was the venue is this place called Sunken Gardens, and it's absolutely hands down my favorite venue in all of San Antonio, because it's a natural outdoor amphitheater, and it's built right inside of like just one of the most gorgeous spots in San Antonio. Amazing sound, and I think you played at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it was in the middle of the summer, so like it's still sunny outside. But
Texas heat.
Texas heat. It's hot. You have a bunch of people, and a lot of the people who were there weren't there to see this heavier bass. And then I remember watching you go up, and just like all of the crowd down in the pit was going off, and that was probably my favorite time watching you.
I do remember that vividly. Yeah. So that day was pretty interesting because, like you're saying, like the set, or I guess the crowd was more festival, like the main. I don't want to say mainstream, but more the poppier EDM stuff. So like for me, for like a bass artist to play that set, you really have to win over the crowd. And I remember I played, I played one track and I just hooked the crowd. Like as soon as I got that crowd like into it, I was like, all right, now I got you. And I was dropping some bass, and then that's when like everyone just like kicked into it. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I definitely remember that. So
that was a good show. So how long has it been since you actually got to play like a normal club style or festival style set, man?
I think it was probably March. I think it was like the week before everything got shut down for quarantine. I did a show in Austin at Scratch House. Oh man, Scratch House closed down too, so that sucks. But I played a show at Scratch House. I think it was just before everything got shut down and we couldn't do anything. But luckily, I did do a EDM drive-in at the end of June. That was a lot of fun. So I kind of got back into the scene a little bit with that.
So we had Blaze on right before the EDM drive-in, and so he was talking to us a little bit about what to expect.
Shout out to Blaze. Yeah, shout out to Blaze. Boy's killing it.
He really is. So tell us, how did the EDM drive-in go? Because I have a feeling that we're going to see more of those popping up as we're still dealing with, uncertain times.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. So a couple of people reached out to me that worked on the team. A few promoters and some of the people that reached out to me hit me up about a show, about a drive-in. So I kind of knew about this, I want to say maybe a month or two before everything went down, before the actual show was announced. And then I met the guy running it and sent him some of my stuff, and he loved it, so he was able to put me on. But the set was a lot of fun. So it was kind of weird, but kind of fun at the same time. And the reason why I say weird, because it was like a different aspect of like raving. It kind of felt like a huge tailgate. And what I mean by that is like obviously everyone's still social distancing, so we all can't mingle, stuff like that. So you want to stay within your confined area. So the cool thing was it's that they turned the Freeman Coliseum into a whole setup and stage, but then everyone's parking spot kind of had like two parking spots from the left and right side opened up, so you couldn't park in between them. So that was like your social distance little box, and so you can just see everyone just like chilling by their cars or like on their pickup trucks, stuff like that, just like raving out to the music. And the music was also being broadcasted on the radio station. So like if you couldn't hear it from up front, you can still hear it through your car and blast it from there too.
Ah,
That's pretty dope.
pretty smart.
Yeah, it was really smart at Daniel. And they have speaker stacks like throughout the parking lot too, so you can still kind of hear music from there. So it felt like a tailgate because like you can still get those vibes of like people just like chilling by their cars and like listening to music and stuff, while drinking and doing all that stuff too. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a tailgate.
Yeah, literally like an EDM tailgate. It's like the best way to put it.
I haven't had a chance to catch up with very many people who actually went, other than from the like artist and promoter side, but so I don't know. Well, the few people I've talked to said that it was actually a lot more fun than they were expecting. Like, you know, they still went there with you know, an open mind, hoping to have a really good time, and they said that it ended up being even better than they thought it would be.
Yes,
and then
I completely agree.
I also heard that they were like really strict about enforcing the social distancing, and that a couple people got like threatened to be kicked out if you didn't stop allowing people to come over from outside of your group to talk. So, you know, and while that's a shitty place to live in, it's nice to know that if we're going to be doing things, that San Antonio is about doing them right, to make sure that we can still give our artist a spot to play and still, you know, allow for the rest of us to get out there and have a good time. What's crazy to me, like the part that I don't get is like, hey guys, so this is the new DJ and Explicit Expert merch. This is the artwork we had done up. This is a nice little notebook you guys can get. There's also t-shirt design with it on there. So check out the new merch. It looks dope.
Get it now.
The idea of everybody doing, you know, you're raving near your car. But I guess that even when you go to a rave, you're still doing whatever you do prior to leaving. And I didn't hear about any accidents. I didn't hear about any arrests, nothing like that. So apparently, you know, people did what they did and had a really good time, and then still managed to be safe.
Both. Like everyone was like really responsible of like what they were doing and partying and stuff. So, I mean, and shout out to San Antonio, because like we did a really good job. No issues. To my knowledge, I don't think anyone got sick, like when it comes to like DJs productions or anything like that. So like even like on the back end of things, so like the cool thing, like I had my own green room and all that stuff too. Our green rooms were completely separated from like all the other DJs that were there. So like my room was secluded. Like I couldn't, I got to hang out with like DJ Fong, but like we were almost 12 feet away from each other basically.
Yeah.
Or Henry Fong, excuse me. So like, yeah, even they had it down packed to where when we were going to the stage, we had the go-kart. They were go-karting us from one place to the other. Everyone had masks. You literally have to have your mask on at all time. The only time that you could take it off is when you're on stage. And then as soon as you get back off stage, your mask is back on. So yeah, like they did a really good job in like making sure everyone was protected when it comes to that stuff.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. I guess Marshmallow would never have an issue with that.
No. He's been prepping for this his entire career.
That's crazy.
This is very true, yeah.
You know,
unless they put a mask over his mask.
That would be hilarious.
Dude. So DJ, got the nasty end of COVID just recently, and he's all healed up from it now. But
All clean, man. For now.
That's good. Good to hear, man.
We know what it's like to have it actually hit close to home and how bad it is. But I mean, we can't allow ourselves to avoid all of the fucking things that actually bring us enjoyment in life. So it's good to see that there's a middle ground somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But so aside from getting to do the shows like that and seeing things come out different, I know that you've also been opening up your avenues on Twitch, right? You've been streaming on Twitch quite a bit. How's that been going for you?
It's been a lot of fun. So I was kind of apprehensive about doing it, just for the fact I just didn't think I was gonna have fun playing on Twitch. I don't know why. Just didn't think so. And one of my good friends, Mike, would like text me on the side. He's like, Kevin, Joe, just do a set. Just do a set. I know you'll love it. So I was like, all right, I'll do one set, and had a really good positive reaction towards it. And my chat is hilarious. So now, just like looking at my chat as I'm playing, you just see the reaction as I'm playing. So when I DJ, I feed off the crowd. Like that was one of the big things. The reason why I didn't want to do it is because I didn't have a crowd to play off of. But having that chat that just like blow up when it drops hits, and you just like see everyone's like, ooh, same face, like everyone throwing emojis and stuff like that while I'm playing, it kind of replaces that when it comes to like that live feel. So I've been doing it almost every other week. I'm starting to get back into it and kind of go back into like doing a weekly schedule. It's just been kind of busy with everything else that I've been working on, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Definitely gonna keep doing it while we're all in quarantine.
Well, man, I always try and give real feedback to people and keep it, keep it honest. And I've watched a lot of DJs do their live sets on Twitch since COVID. Prior to COVID, we have a couple of people that we watch who stream nothing but DJ sets, who have been doing this as a primary source of income for a long time. Like what's that one dude's name? Bean
BPM.
Like this dude has a really dope little like setup. It looks like it's probably like in his basement. He's got like a drop down mic that comes in from the ceiling. He'll have like a jug of wine, and he gets fucked up and he has a good time and he spins vinyls, and it's enjoying to watch him. Since COVID happened, and I see a lot of artists who aren't familiar with Twitch, and somebody somewhere said, hey, you should try this out, maybe it can be an avenue for you. And then I've seen some people do a good job with it, and then I've seen some people who are like, I don't know what the fuck to do with my hands, like I've never been here before. And watching your sets, like never once did I feel like you looked uncomfortable. Like I feel like you connected with the people on the other end.
Yeah, I guess it's just the fact that I just like really enjoy music. So like DJing is a therapy for me, basically. So like that was one of the big things that like I'm glad I started doing it on live stream, because it's such a fun feeling, and seeing the crowd like react, like just even through the live stream of the chat, is definitely like a rewarding feeling.
Yeah, definitely. So did you still remember your first event that you actually people? Like
yeah.
How you felt that day?
Okay, so man, this is gonna throw back. So let's see if you remember this venue. So years ago, I played at Night Rocker Live, downtown San Antonio.
Wasn't that place like primarily a rock place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did. I did a show there. A lot of the, like, I guess you consider underground cats back then. A lot of the people that would drop like drum and bass, stuff like that. And I did a dubstep set, and I had maybe like 10, 15 of my friends and coworkers come out to see me and stuff play. And I guess I threw down a really good set to where like everyone like the other people that were there was like, who is this kid playing? Like, who's this guy like throwing down this set?
EDM?
And just kind of worked off of that. And then I want to say a couple shows after that, I played at Amnesia nightclub. Man, that was a while ago too. It's like dating my
Rock down to make you feel old, man.
Like how long I've been in the scene. And I remember playing at Amnesia, and at those times, like I didn't really, well, I mean, I really still don't care like what time I play, but at those times, like I was playing and I didn't know any better. I was playing before like the stage, like the doors were opening or stuff. So like, let's say that they were opening up at 10, I would be on playing while everyone's like starting to like funnel in, and I would play at like 9:45 to like 10:30. And at that time, I didn't know any better. I'm like, oh, I'm allowing people to walk in, like they're gonna see me first play. And I guess that was like starting my humble beginnings, because like I've always like had to work for the crowd and like bring that crowd in and have them like enjoy the night. So playing now in front of like hundreds, maybe thousands of people, I still feel like that. Like I'm still feeling like I have to bring that crowd in. But yeah, like having those first few shows, I think definitely define the character that I am now when it comes to like doing shows and doing sets and stuff.
So at some point, DJ man, I really hope that there's an opportunity where you can actually check this out live, because
I did.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, but like in person, you know, like 6 feet away from his booth, you know, because you got to respect it, you know, it's still, but I don't even, I've seen a lot of artists I've seen, and you know my background, like I grew up listening to primarily hard rock and metal, and then it was dubstep probably around the time that you were first getting into it that helped me transition into dance music, because like I wasn't into that shit, but there was something raw about the heavy bass with dubstep that like I still connected. Seeing Kevin up on stage doing what he does makes me feel a type of way that like very few people do. I think I've told you that. So this isn't just because you're on, man. I've talked about this before. You could pull it up somewhere. But when it comes to producers from the greater, like not even San Antonio area, but from Texas, and understand, guys, that if you haven't been from Texas, or if you're not from Texas, San Antonio is a big fucking place. So when we talk about San Antonio, when he talks about being local to here, like we're not talking about, you know, some small town. We're still talking about a good local DJ is going to be out in front of several hundred people at any given point in time. So my favorite producer from Texas is Blaze. But my favorite person to watch DJ is KataBolic, hands down. And that's, you know, not even a little bit. And it's watching your energy up on stage, man, and it's knowing that you, like most good DJs will say, oh, I don't have a playlist, you know, I have some flexibility, because nobody wants to get up and be like, yes, I rehearse what I do. Which, come on now, every good musician rehearses what they do. Like, you're not going to get up there and just totally, well, I mean, I guess if you're in a jam band, that's what you do, but in most cases you're not. But I watch you actually connect with your crowd. I watch you change things up, and I watch you try to be innovative in your approach. And so that's always been something that stood out to me. Like when the crowd's feeling it and you can get heavy, I know that your love for bass is there. Your stank face is there. The only thing that I think your love for bass would be matched by is your love and respect for women. Gotta respect women.
Respecting women.
But I've also seen where you will switch from the heavy bass into some good, you know, feels music and get that vibe going in a different direction. So far, I still haven't ever got to catch one of your house sets, and I would really enjoy to. But the most recent live set we watched was, I don't even know, like that 70s funk with dubstep. Like,
yeah.
Where did I've never even heard half of the stuff you played that, man. That was some good shit.
Man, I don't even know how. Like, I remember that set and that sound too, and I remember seeing the chat like starting to go crazy. It's like, yeah, what is going on here? but yeah, like I threw that. I threw some like old school uh Eiffel 65 Blue like remix that I found by Flume, I think. And yeah, it was such a really good like feels moment. And yeah, so I that as you're saying, like I'm starting to get into more of the feel stuff. Um it's just that transition of like going from heavy bass to like fields music, and you just want to be able to like connect with like everyone in the audience. And that's good that you like recognize the fact that I like connect with the audience. And one of my like secret tips that I always do this at shows, for like any other like DJs or producers that like want to DJ, is one tip that I found out. So you survey the crowd, and at EDM shows, you're always gonna see someone with like merch of like a different artist on their shirt. So like for example, like Seven Lions or like Millennium or Adventure Club. And as soon as I catch that person with that merch, I know for a fact I'm gonna play a song that's gonna like resonate. I will drop a song just for that person in the crowd.
Smart.
So I do this all the time. That's why I always like survey the crowd. I always try to connect with them, because when you connect with that one person brought friends or whatever, he's losing his shit or he or she's losing their shit. So they go crazy. And then now that like spreads throughout the crowd because you see that person going crazy in the crowd. So little secret tip that I've kind of learned throughout the year.
That's really smart. And I've always been a person who I don't like wearing merch of the artist that I'm going to see. Like, because I like meeting people when I'm out at a show. I don't really care to meet people typically, but when I'm out at a show, you know, like there's already that common ground. So I look for people who are wearing something other than what they're there to see as well. Unless like they're there to see an artist and they're wearing something that's custom or something that they did on their own. And then, you know, it's a good conversational piece. So yeah, I mean, that's really smart. So one of the next staple questions that we have, and I think this is a good one for you because I actually don't know the answer to it. Do you do any producing?
Producing? No, not at the, well, yes and no. So I started, I haven't released anything, I'll put it that way. Okay. But I have been dabbling with it. So this past year, been working on some other things to get that stuff squared away. Now that I'm starting to hit these goals that I've set myself 2 years ago, and I'm about to achieve it probably at the end of August. My next major goal is production. So hopefully, I don't want to give a timetable of when I'll actually start releasing music, but hopefully soon, in the next couple of years or so, after I get the sound that I'm looking for and what I'm trying to produce. But yes, I do have ideas already. Like I've been messing around with Ableton. It's just I haven't had a chance to like sit down and hunker and start doing production yet.
Gotcha, man. I mean, that makes sense. I think that over the last couple of years, like that, the question of can a DJ make it as a DJ if they don't do producing, and can a producer make it as a producer if they don't do DJing, is probably like just as common of a question as hearing somebody say, do you spin on vinyl or CDJs? But even now there are people who have had residencies in Vegas for like 10 plus years who don't produce. You know, just absolutely phenomenal DJs, because that's a different instrument. Like you have to play your audience, and not everybody's good at that, you know. When you go to see Excision, I go to see Excision because I know that Excision is going to play his sound. He's going to bring in artists who have a similar feel to it. He's going to lay in his bass underneath that, and he's going to play, but it's going to be primarily Excision. But not everybody does that, and you still have different artists that you go and see who, you know, who are still big, who still very much so DJ, and they have a very different set each time you watch them, and they're bringing in a lot of stuff, you know, showing you things that you wouldn't hear otherwise, and like really keeping it true to what DJs used to do, you know, back in the underground. And I like that shit. Yeah. I think that's what you know. You're fantastic at that. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I would go absolutely ape shit whenever you tell me, hey, dude, I'm getting ready to release my first track. Like, I will be excited for that. But until then, I'm always excited to watch. So before we transition away from just straight music DJ, did you have any other questions?
I do, man. I do.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Bring it on.
It's just one simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you scratch?
I can a little bit.
Okay.
So I know DJ, you probably appreciate this too. So
I don't hate if you can't, you know.
Mhm.
oh no. So
Really hard, man.
it is really hard. So a little bit more backstory of my DJ career. So I honestly started out as like a hip hop like DJ, hip hop club DJ.
Yeah.
So obviously, like I love hip hop music. I rap stuff like that. I grew up listening to that stuff, and then I slowly worked my way into dance music. So I was obviously like practice scratching, like playing hip hop music and stuff.
Correct.
And a cool little story is my dad was actually a DJ before. He's kind of taught me kind of the ropes of DJing first, and I kind of just like took it from there with my EDM stuff. So he used to play music in the 70s in New York. Like if you guys know Studio 54 and like the old school like 70s scene.
The Studio 54 has had like multiple movies made about it.
So like around that area is like when he was like playing music and like brought some stuff like styles of the way that he used to do things is kind of like how I do things like that too. So like for example, like when I was saying the spot someone in the crowd type of thing, or another thing I like to do is like drop vocals from memes or stuff like that into the things and have people like go crazy off of a vocal drop. So yeah, he kind of showed me the ropes and I just kind of went from there.
You kind of built off of his creativity.
Yeah,
man.
off of his creativity. Yeah.
Dope.
That's really awesome. So you brought up the Studio 50. Did your dad actually play at Studio 54?
I believe so. I
Dude.
know he's mentioned and he's played clubs around there. I want to say yes, he has played there, but I'll have to double check on that.
Dude, that's pretty dope.
Pretty sure, yeah.
That's pretty crazy. So is that what got you into the whole DJ thing in the beginning, or?
Close, kind of yes, kind of no. So throughout college and out of high school, I was a promoter for like a bunch of fraternities. So that's a genius way of not having to join a fraternity is to be a promoter for them, so you can still like go to their stuff and not have to be a fraternity. Nothing wrong against fraternities, don't get me wrong, but it was just another way of partying without having to do the whole fraternity frat stuff. So I used to like promote and man, at that time it's like crunk music was like the biggest thing, and I guess that's where you can kind of feel like my dub bass vibe comes from, because I love crunk music. So like Little John, East Side Boys, stuff like that was like my ish back in the day. And I used to like remember the DJs playing, and I just for some reason I would have like a song in my head that they would play next, and I can just kind of like see where that DJ was like playing. And didn't realize I was more of a skill, because like I was able to like transition one song to the next just while it was all in my head. So fast forward, I decided to get my first set of controllers off my tax refund. So I was like, well, I'm gonna use my whole refund and buy like this musical equipment.
Smart man.
Yeah. And I just used to practice like every day, like literally 5-6 hours at the time, just like practice music. And I know my girlfriend at the time like hated me at that time, because like that's all I would do is just like practice.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
But luckily it came out pretty well, so can't be mad at that stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I love being out on the floor, and when you hear a bass line from a different track come in under whatever track you're listening to now, and I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, they're about to do this. And then when it's a really, like when somebody's doing some fancy shit, they'll mix in like a bass line 2 or 3 songs in advance and like just start building up towards it. And there's something about those moments when you hear something that other people don't, and it makes you feel like you just connect with music differently.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we want to do on a upcoming podcast, where we're working towards it, is making a game where we play songs in reverse to avoid DMCA strikes. And DJ was like, "Yo, do you really think that people are going to be able to identify these songs playing in reverse?" I'm like, "Nah, yes, absolutely, dude. The right people will be able to do this." And then I played just a short little clip, and a buddy of ours was in chat, and he was like, "Hey, is that Smooth Criminal?" And I was like, "See, I told you, man. Like, there's just certain things you hear them, and like, I don't know. It's not even always a sound. Sometimes it's just a feeling, and you connect with it. And feeling. Yep.
That's funny because, like, I think years ago someone did that with levels, and like people recognize that from Avicii. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how people can just like pick up a song just by that segment or 10-15 segment of sound.
I think I'd be really bad at it.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised.
I don't know, man. Kind of sad to say I'm a DJ, right?
Not necessarily. Like, it's just like I never learned. So I've been playing music since I was really young. I started playing guitar when I think I was like 7 or 8. And then I got into playing guitar, like really playing, when I was like 14 or 15. And then I started learning other instruments here and there. And then I got a controller like 6 or 7 years ago and started learning to spin music. But like, I never learned music at any point. I wanted to. I tried to learn how to read sheet music, and I couldn't do it. To this day, I can't tell you the strings on a guitar. Like, I know that there's 2 G's, and I think it's the top and bottom, but the ones in between I could play, you know. But I know I have a good ear for music, but that's that. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Like, you're good at what you do.
I can't read music.
KataBolic's good at what he does, and I'm good at what I do. But it doesn't mean that we all have to have the same strategies or techniques going into it. So, since you aren't DJing as often right now, what are you doing to stay busy in this quarantine life?
I mean, other than working during the day, my other leisure that I have is gaming. So I'm a pretty big gamer when it comes to stuff. Been gaming since I was, I'm gonna date myself again. Atari, I think, was like the very first console that I had. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I remember it's like a long time ago. I think I was playing Duck Hunt. It was like the very first game, if I remember correctly.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I had a feeling that I was the oldest here, and then DJ, and then you, and now I'm starting to think that you might be in between us.
I'm not older. I was not expecting Atari, man. Maybe like Super Nintendo, you know, or I don't know.
Yeah, I stopped aging years ago. I'm pretty sure I'm a vampire. So
yeah,
that's why.
That's dope, dude. You can't complain about that. Can't complain at all. Yeah, dude. So for like my first system that I remember having was the NES, and like the first games I really remember playing was like the original Super Mario Brothers, and now we game absolutely as often as possible. So even when we're not streaming, like, gaming is typically what my go-to is, and now it's switching up that we're finding some other shit to do too, like getting into the editing stuff and learning to do some graphic design. But music, I think for both of us, has always been like the backbone of all of that shit. Like, we want good music, whether it's as we're queuing up to do different things, or when we started doing the podcast, this is one of the things we wanted to do, is how can we bring this other like core piece of who we are into our streams with the, you know, other than just like DJing on stream or playing an instrument. It's like, you know, let's get out here and give some of these artists that we really enjoy another platform, and introduce more people to you guys, and then it gives us an opportunity to talk about our passion and hear points of view from somebody who's on the other side of it. So like, we always really appreciate that. So what games are you primarily playing right now?
So right now, well, the last game that I finished, I should say, was Last of Us 2. Great game. Amazing game. The game before that was Final Fantasy VII Remake. That one was really good too. Currently playing Ghost of Tsushima. I have to say it's amazing. So I put it on the Japanese voiceovers set, and it's like so immersive to have like a Japanese samurai game going on while I'm like reading subtitles, like if I'm watching anime or whatever. So it's pretty cool. And then I guess like my everyday game that I'm still playing is Destiny 2. For like my core game, then I guess I'm playing.
So I noticed that you have a pretty legit setup for joining us for the podcast. You have a nice mic, the pop filter, you have your gaming chair, but I've never seen you stream any games.
Not yet. So that's the thing that I was thinking about. Start doing some just like gaming stuff on the side while doing like my music stuff on another night. Haven't thought of a schedule yet that I want to do, but I'm definitely interested in doing that. Just like you're saying, people can see different sides of me other than the DJ aspect that everyone that knows me as.
Exactly.
Yep.
I actually really relate to that because like I just started really gaming on PC, like 2.5 years ago, and everybody knew me as the DJ, you know? And now I'm trying to have everybody know me as the gaming DJ.
Yeah.
Slowly think of how to incorporate DJing back with this whole DMCA shit going on.
Yeah, it's been hitting everyone with that. So what's your games? If I can turn the questions around.
Yeah, man.
What are you guys playing?
More than welcome to ask us whatever you want to. So what are we playing right now, DJ? PUBG
okay.
Mobile?
Okay.
PUBG, not mobile.
Where the fuck did you even get a PUBG Mobile hat from?
I got that TwitchCon, man. They had a PUBG mobile booth, but for some reason there was no actual PUBG for PC booth.
That's crazy.
I was really upset about, but whatever. It was still PUBG and they gave me free shit.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Yeah. So PUBG is what we primarily play, both on and off stream now. Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We took like a 3-month break that we just came back from, and in between we were playing Apex Legends. We played Call of Duty for a little bit. But we played a lot of Apex, and then we're playing this other game called Quantum League, and it's a badass. Are you familiar with it? Oh shit.
Oh, okay. So like I said, like when it comes to video games, I'm a pretty big gamer. Like I'm like in the rabbit hole when it comes to gaming, as well as I am with music.
That's dope.
So Quantum League, we are actually participating in the Indie Gaming League Summer Circuit. We just finished week 3, so I think it's a 5-week league, and DJ is 3-0. Like he's been fucking killing it.
Congrats.
My record will skip for now. It's scratched.
Well, I mean,
the first week was me versus him, and like, so I was like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah.
But we've had really good games, and actually, we're working on getting somebody from the development team for Quantum League onto one of the future episodes of the podcast. So we try and switch it up right with the podcast, keeping it either music or gaming or some combination of both. But yeah, like, definitely digging that game. And then, but we're back on our shit with PUBG. So
PUBG, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess my battle royale would definitely be Apex Legends. Would be my battle royale of choice. I really like the hero shooting aspect. So I did also play Overwatch for quite a bit. And then went into the whole battle royale with obviously played Fortnite for a bit, but really enjoyed Apex. Like probably I'm getting back into that too with my trio squad.
Nice. Yeah, it's
so you can build then since you play Fortnite.
Yeah. It's pretty decent.
I can't build for shit, dude.
No. Building was definitely what turned me off from Fortnite too.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends too. So when we switched to Apex, we've been like getting W's all the time.
Nice. Well, I think that it's 9:24, 7:24 over there, so we're nearing an hour, man. Do you have any other questions for us?
Man, no, not that I can think of.
Well, so one of the last things I'd like to leave you with, dude, is we would absolutely love to see you stream more often, whether that's you doing your DJ sets or seeing a different side of you and seeing how you game. I want to know if you rage or not. You know, like I have a feeling you're pretty chill.
Oh, I rage. So yeah, so funny stories. Like I'm very competitive when it comes to gaming.
This guy.
So like my first like online shooting games was SOCOM back in the PlayStation 2 days. Yeah.
That game is so dope, dude. I don't know why they never made it on PS3, or did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But yeah, SOCOM 2 was like my itch. That was my game. So that's where I kind of learned a lot of the gaming lingo, techniques, and all that stuff for just like playing SOCOM. So that translated to like all of my gaming that I've been doing now. But yeah, I don't want to say I rage, but
but you take it serious.
I do take it serious. There we go.
No, we're the same way, man. So we like, for the two of us, one of the things that help bring us together is that we go out of our way to try not to rage in game. Like we try and be chill about it, but at the same time, we are fucking competitive. Like if we're going to play something, like we want to play something where we're actually competing. So with PUBG, one of the reasons that we took a break was because we had been playing for like 2 years and they hadn't introduced ranked yet. And it's like, come on, man, like I can go beat some kids' asses in Apex, and at least there I'm ranking up, and I got something to show for it. Yeah, I mean,
something to work towards.
Got something to work towards. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely done that.
Well, man, we absolutely appreciate you coming and giving us a chance to get to know you better. Are you going to be doing any house sets on Twitch soon?
So probably not for another couple weeks. So tonight's set, I'm actually doing a old school classic like trap EDM set.
Oh, nice.
So like old school main festivals or old school festival sets that you used to hear back in the day when like EDM was starting to bloom.
Like before people started shitting on Carnage. Back when people liked him.
Back when people liked him. So like that type of sound, I guess, before Carnage went and went crazy. Just kidding. But yeah, so that type of sound. I'm doing that tonight. Next week, I'll probably do a main stage like festival big room set. So this was like maybe old school TSO Hardwell type stuff. And then the following week, I will do another house set.
Very nice.
A lot of people seem to join that one.
Very nice. Do you know roughly when you're going to be going on for your set tonight?
11 p.m. Central Time.
Very nice. Well, we will make sure that when that rolls around, we'll be watching for you to go live. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a platform, it's a website called Multi-Stream. And so we'll link everybody and give them the option to pull up our streams alongside yours, so that way we can try and get some new people into your room and get them familiar with who you are.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you coming out and showing out with us. DJ, who do we have for next week's episode? Is it confirmed?
It's confirmed, dude. We got Dan from Gimbal.
What the fuck is Gimbal?
I don't know, dude. I'm just kidding. It's an app that your viewers are going to let you give you or create challenges that you perform in game, and if you complete these challenges, you get coins, which is the in-app currency, which translates to money on your side, kind of like bids.
Nice. So
we'll have him on next week.
Gimbal's been out and live for several months now, right? Like 4 months, probably.
I think more like 5.
Is it okay? So Gimbal's been out for a while. For those of you who are interested, it's great for streamers, and for any of our viewers who are interested, it's another great way to interact with streamers. So if you have somebody that you enjoy watching who isn't already using it, you can have them check it out. But we'll have Dan. Is he the owner of Gimbal? I think co-owner.
Co-owner, I believe. Yeah,
that's pretty dope. So, be an interesting.
He's in Paris
right now, or always.
Well, he's going to be tuning in from Paris. I believe he is from Paris.
Holy shit!
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Not either.
All right. Well, so next Saturday, that's who you can expect to see on with us. And as always, if you guys have somebody that you would like to see as a guest, let us know. Leave it in the comments. Hit us up. hit them up and then have them hit us up, that would be great. But for now, Kevin, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, man. And it was great getting to know you better. And we will see you in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks you guys for having me on. Hopefully we can do this again.
Hell yeah.
And we'd love to have you back on, dude.
Awesome. Oh yeah, and
for those of you that aren't watching us live on Twitch, you guys can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, thumbs up as well, turn the notification bell on, and we will see you guys next week for episode 14.
Excellent.
Peace.